Good afternoon, everyone. When the Scottish Tech Army launched last year, it was in response to the crisis that befell us all. As you have heard, the response to the crisis was both immediate and powerful. Within days, hundreds of volunteers have stepped forward to play their part, and dozens of organisations have made contact to ask us for help. The first few months of activity were focused very much on the immediate issues which these organisations and individuals were having to contend. Soaring demand, restrictions in face-to-face contact, and digital exclusion of many of the people they were trying to help. However, it rapidly became apparent that there was a much deeper and longer-lasting need in relation to the application of technology for social good. As a result, we took the decision to transform the Scottish Tech Army from a crisis response initiative into an enduring organisation with a much broader Tech for Good mission. Our original mantra was design and build Firefly. I'm delighted to say that we're still flying, but we are still designing and building. We also observed that despite many existing Tech for Good programs and initiatives, there was a great deal of fragmentation in the ecosystem. Much work that was of great value was limited in its impact because it was not widely known or accessible outside the original context in which it had been done. An integral part of our approach is to act as a hub in the Tech for Good ecosystem, aggregating and amplifying the work of the many organisations that are active in this space. We want to create a step change in the level of impact that we can all achieve by working collaboratively together. In the course of our work to date, we have benefited from the support of many people across all parts of the Tech for Good ecosystem, and further strengthening and extending such links is an important part of how we believe we can play our part in enabling the Tech for Good ecosystem to have the greatest possible impact on as many people as possible. To help us to understand the ecosystem and to develop and strengthen both our connections and our reach, we are delighted to announce the creation of an ambassador program, inviting highly respected senior figures from the sectors that play a part in the Tech for Good ecosystem to work with us: the tech sector, the third sector, the corporate sector, the public sector, and the education sector. Our ambassador's remit is threefold. Firstly, to aggregate information and insight from the sector in which they operate, informing us about the many initiatives that exist, helping us to recruit mentors, advisors, and volunteers, and identifying Tech for Good collaboration opportunities. To amplify our impact by raising awareness of the work of the Scottish Tech Army in relation to Tech for Good initiatives, representing us in sector forums and discussions, sharing information about what we do, and encouraging adoption of solutions developed by the ecosystem. And finally, to augment the ecosystem by fostering and supporting the development of the Tech for Good ecosystem in Scotland and internationally, to create and develop cross-sector collaboration, to attract active participation from individuals and organisations, and to raise awareness amongst organisations that can benefit from Tech for Good initiatives. With this in mind, it gives me great pleasure to announce that the first ambassadors of the Scottish Tech ecosystem are going to be: firstly, representing the third sector, we welcome Marcella Boyle, Chief Executive of the Hyman Robertson Foundation, which funds, fundraises, and volunteers with charity partners across the UK. Marcella comes with a wealth of experience in both the charitable and skills development sectors and has been an enthusiastic supporter of the Scottish Tech Army since its early days. Representing the tech sector, we welcome Mark Logan, the former Chief Operations Officer of Skyscanner and a former senior executive of Atlantic, another great Scottish tech success story, and also he held senior roles with Cisco and DNS. Mark is currently a professor at the University of Glasgow's School of Computing Science and a non-exec director of the Data Lab. In 2020, he was commissioned by the Scottish Government to develop the Scottish Tech Ecosystem Review. I'm delighted to say that the Scottish Government has accepted all 34 of his recommendations, and he is now leading the government's implementation of these recommendations. Mark will represent both the tech industry and the interests of early-stage career professionals looking to gain a foot in the tech career ladder. Representing the education system, we welcome Fiona Stewart-Knight, Assistant Vice Principal of Business Partnerships and Director of the Institute for University to Business Education at Glasgow Caledonian University. Fiona has been instrumental in developing innovative access programs for upskilling in the tech sector and promoting the interests of the university's graduates. She will continue to engage with the ecosystem to ensure that those leaving education have the opportunities they need to gain valuable experience and knowledge at the same time as helping others. The corporate sector, we welcome Felicity Goodman, Vice President of JP Morgan, with responsibility for the company's Tech for Social Good program, including the Force for Good initiative embedded within the business communities generally. This program has been in operation for 10 years, making a real difference by supporting and enabling the use of technology for social good worldwide. Felicity's focus will be on encouraging skilled digital volunteering through the corporate world's CSR programs. As we are currently in the pre-election period ahead of the impending Scottish Government Parliament elections, we are unable to announce an ecosystem ambassador for the public sector today, but we look forward to sharing news of their appointment before the summer parliamentary recess. Our tech ecosystem ambassadors have all been extremely helpful to us in all sorts of different ways, and I'd like to thank them for what they've already done so far, and I'd like to ask you to join me in welcoming our ambassadors and we thank you in advance for your continued support and guidance, and we wish you all well in your endeavours on behalf of the Tech for Good ecosystem, as we seek to raise expectations and the bar for what we can all achieve by working collaboratively together. Thank you very much indeed, and enjoy the rest of your day.